All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Glenn Stein, Realty Executives here, and it's Friday. It's the 7th. It's February. It's 2025 already. Put in the chat, where are you from? Where are you from? I'd love to know where you're from. Checking in. What's the weather like? What's the real estate market in your area? I'd love to know that as well. I know there's a lot of different things depending on where you are in the Southeast. I'm noticing things are a little bit better in the Southeast right now than some areas of the country, a little bit more activity. But what we are seeing in Florida for sure, which is maybe people might be surprised by that, is more inventory than a lot of other places, more inventory. But today we're going to talk about not the inventory, we're going to talk about demand, right? We're also, we're in February, so we're seeing a lot more people in the villages right now. A lot of the people delayed their coming to the villages. They waited until beginning of February, and all of our rentals are completely booked, long term and short term. Usually, we have a few long term rentals that are vacant, but at this point, we're completely occupied. Occasionally, somebody does create a vacancy or create an opportunity where there is a home to be rented. So there is that opportunity, but for the most part, we're pretty much booked on the rental side in our property management company. So if you have questions about that, feel free to connect 352-572-3796. Let's talk about what is for sale, what is selling, what is selling. So we're going to take a deep dive. 139 properties have sold in the last I believe this is the last 30 days, or did I do year to date? Let me look back. Year to date. That's what I did. So January 1 through February 7th, which is not an outstanding first 40 days, 37 days, but it's an okay. And it's not terrible even. Terrible would be like under 100, and fabulous would be like 175 plus. So it's somewhere in the middle. So let's look at the high. Let's go highest priced first. Let's see what's selling. So closed, we had 4 properties sell over the $1 million mark, 1.2, 1.4, 1.425, 2.6. We had one of those properties was our listing, and that one is on Van Buren Way. Just give you an idea of what is selling for 1.277. Pool. This one is actually 4-bedroom, 2.5 baths, 4.5 car garage, near Cane Garden, and on the Cane Garden Championship golf course. So right there, showing you some pictures. Let me open it up a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Gives you an idea. Okay, this is what 1.2 will get you in the villas. It's very nice. Outstanding property. Let's take a look at the $2 million property. Gives you an idea of what's selling in the villages. Let's see. Yep. Yep, very nice. Very nice. Going through the pictures really quick. Yep, that gives you an idea. 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3/4 of an acre. Villages Preserve. So that gives you an idea. This gives you a broad look. Okay, so it's right on the preserve. Okay, some people like that. Some people don't. People maybe mosquitoes and that type of thing. 3,700 square feet, but lots of space there for sure, and lots of garage space as well. So that helps. That's a good thing. So that's what you get for a 2.7, almost 2.8. And we had 21 properties sell over 600,000. Okay, so that tells you something there. And we look at it. So let's look at the pricing, like how many sold under 500,000. Right, let's look at that. And if you have questions, let me know. Put it in the chat. So I'll put 0 to 500. So we had 107, right? So that's the majority, like that's a good 60-70% right there, sold under 500,000. And we start looking at, okay, what type of home is that is selling under 500,000? Obviously, the mobile homes In the historic section, you've got quite a bit there. You had a 1-1 that sold for 220,000, right? So that was something. That's the lowest price single family that sold, but everything else was manufactured. Let's look at this on the opposite side. 87,000. Okay, yeah, this is a diamond in the rough. Yeah, to say the least. It's like, okay, this place is a disaster. Actually, I'm looking at it. And I like disasters, but this is really rough. But you can imagine, look, 87,000 listed at 99,000. That's basically what you get in the villages. Most of the property sold in the 200, the 300 range. We had, let's see how many under, so 107 under 500,000. But let's narrow it down. How many under 300? We have 30. So not that many. You're going to find the bulk of these properties probably in that 300, 400 range. Yes, 51 properties. So that's more than, it's about 40% of the properties fell into the 300 to 400 range. And year built. See if there's anything new. Year built 2022 is the earliest or the most recent. But most of the properties, if you look at it, built in 05, 06, 04, 03. Most of those properties are built then, with a square footage varying 15, 18, 14. Not just patio villas, actually decent sized homes between 3 and 4. It gives you an idea of what's selling. But for the most part, under 500,000 sells. Over 500,000, you got to be really sharp with your price, and you got to make sure that you've got something that is truly unique. That's really important, right? That's really important to look at. So if you have questions, 352-572-3796. Glenn Stein, broker, Realty Executives. The bottom line is, if you're selling, be really sharp on your price. If you're buying, we showed you some of the things that are actually selling. Gives you an idea that most of the fish, most of the buyers are buying under 500, between 3 to 400. We're seeing that. So a little bit more competition with buyers. If you're buying a little bit above that, above the 500 mark, you might be able to create some deals for yourself. But there's also, if you look at the inventory, which we didn't, we'll take a look at that soon. Not today, but another day. The inventory is basically telling us that most of the inventory is in that 3 to 500,000 range as well. There's a lot there, so a lot of competition. I think you can make an offer, 5 to 10% off list price if it's been on the market for 30, 60, 90 days for an extended period of time, right? If you're trying to sell, then be really tight on your price, negotiate strong, find an agent that's going to negotiate strongly on your behalf. And I think you're going to be in good shape. And you need as much exposure as possible, not less, more exposure. So connect if you have questions. Happy Friday. Hope everybody does well this weekend.